even if someone's open, it's difficult to tell when they are.
Right.
But the truth is, for people who've known me for a long time, they know what they see is what they get when it comes to me. And it's not, I never have this like alternative agenda or something crazy like that some people, like that's the way they are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's me. What about you?
I consider myself very open. So when it comes to anything really, I guess I either need to see it, experience it. I mean, there's certain things that in life that, I don't know, you just never know. I look at both sides or all sides. There could be 6 sides to something, and then that makes it even harder. So I think I'm a very open person when it comes to that, because I never know what's right or what's wrong unless you experience it yourself, or somebody you know has firsthand experienced it, or I don't know. It's so, yeah.
So do you think that do you know people who are closed-minded?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
I feel like when people are closed-minded, they're very, it's my way or the highway.
Okay.
And there's no, they won't want to listen to you. They won't want to hear your side of the opinion. And sometimes I find closed-minded people would also, they'll listen to it, but no matter what, you're not changing their mind.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like talking to a wall.
Right.
Yeah.
So what it's like to be open-minded, it's accessible, available, receptive to new ideas, unreserved, candid, frank.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm constantly looking for new ideas all the time.
Yes.
And I'm always encouraging everybody to give new ideas on things. I think that there's the way of doing things today, and then there's the way that could always be done better.
Yeah.
So I'm always open to new ideas that way.
What is openness to you guys? Let us know in the chat. According to Psychology Today, openness is one of the 5 core personality dimensions that drive behavior.
Ooh.
That's deep.
Yeah.
People with openness are more likely to be comfortable with the unfamiliar, pay attention to their inner feelings more than those who are less open to novelty.
Interesting. So it sounds like people who are open are generally happier people.
Yeah. You can express your curiosity and your creativity and your imagination, your consciousness, your organization, your productivity. What?
Consciousness.
Consciousness. How did I try to say the word before the live?
Conscientiousness.
Conscientiousness.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, what do you think about, do you think being open would drive more all of the creativity, curiosity, imagination? Do you think being open drives that more, or would it slow it down?
Those are the things that allow you to be able to, like with all those things, unless you have openness, all those other building bricks mean nothing. So
right.
You have curiosity, you have imagination, you have creativity. These are building bricks to thrive in today's world. But if you don't have openness to work with those, it does nothing, it crumbles.
Right.
So yeah, openness is definitely, what was it? One of the five core personality dimensions.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah, so it's definitely very.
I wonder what the other 4
important.
are.
The other 4?
Yeah, because it's one of 5.
Fill us in.
Curiosity.
Let us know what you think the other 4 are.
Yeah, chat, let us know. Oh, they are on there.
They are?
Oh.
Curiosity, creativity, imagination?
Yeah.
I'd say those are pretty important, pretty core.
Yeah. Let's read what Destiny says here. Closed-minded people don't think like they're closed-minded either most of the time. Do they think they're open-minded?
Yeah, well.
Or they're just like, I like this way and I'm sticking to this.
Yeah.
Like I don't,
The idea is that they'll say that they won't admit that they're closed-minded.
Right.
Everything that they think is around supporting their positions, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it might be. So like if they're afraid to do something, they will give a million reasons why they can't do that. If they have a certain opinion about something and they don't want to be able to, they want to change it, they will talk about anything around supporting that.
Right.
But as long as it doesn't go away from that core, whatever the core item is that they're trying to support. So yeah, closed-minded people, like Destiny said, they will believe that they're open, but the truth is that they're actually closed off and really are just looking to support where they are. They want everything to just continue to pad where they're at.
So back to the other 4, it's the consciousness. Am I saying that right?
Conscientiousness.
So it's openness, consciousness, productiveness, extroversion,
Extroversion.
and agreeableness.
Agreeableness.
Yeah. Respectfulness and neuroticism.
Neuroticism.
These are big words, folks. Okay, Destiny also said here, looking inside yourself to become open-minded is a hard thing to do, especially if there's skeletons in the closet.
Skeletons in the closet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that, when you think about skeletons in the closet in relation to openness,
Yeah.
really it's because skeletons in the closet tend to make you live in fear.
Right.
Like you've had past experiences, so that makes you less open to potentially being able to experience something. So
That's true.
So when you think
never thought of that.
just think about how people are when it comes to relationships.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, I once dated this so-and-so and they couldn't stop slurping their soup and I just never can ever see anybody again who slurps their soup, and they freak out. Right. So, that's just, so they'll never see, and it could be like the most perfect person that they could be dating.
Yeah.
But they slurp their soup. And now they've not been open to the possibility that they could have just met them.
Or they could have just been open with that person and said, I really don't like when you slurp your soup.
True. That
Might have worked too.
True.
Yeah.
But the skeleton in the closet is the slurping soup.
It is. So when you actually say that, like, when you said openness, like if you fall off a horse you might not want to get back on.
You might want to get back on,
because
that's right.
it was traumatizing.
So now you're not open to ever riding a horse again.
Right.
That's very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So always try to be open. Don't let those skeletons ruin.
Hold you back.
Yeah, hold you back. Exactly.
Yeah.
Destiny, off topic, but slurping soup is gross. I agree. So guys, we have a weekly challenge for you. Find a topic that you have a strong stance on, like political view, or whether pineapple belongs on pizza. Think about why you have this belief. List 3 points. List 3 points of why you have that belief. Now do like a for and against. How many do you have in each column? So pick a topic. For instance, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza.
False.
So we need to be open at that. So we're going to write that. List 3 points why you think it does, or why your belief is that. And then do a for or against. So how many do you have in each column? Keep the paper out all week. Try to look at it for 5 minutes a week, 5 minutes a day. See if you can add to it, and maybe even talk about it with other people, because that way they could. So why do you think pineapple belongs on pizza? Open my mind about it.
Well, I like all kinds of pizza. So Hawaiian is just one of them, and pineapple being on the pizza, it just adds a different kind of tang to pizza that you don't get with other kinds.
So I heard one person say, for instance, fruit doesn't belong on pizza, but if you think about it, tomatoes are a fruit, and you put tomato sauce on pizza. True. Or tomatoes. True. On a veggie pizza.
It's true.
Should be called a fruit pizza, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody should make just a fruit pizza, and that might actually be good. I think it's the ham, and I don't know. Maybe if I had a decent pineapple pizza, I know, I'm thinking Hawaiian pizza right now. And I think it's the ham that I'm not a fan of.
But that's not the problem.
Right, so that I can put that in one of the columns, because that's opened my mind, because it might not be the pineapple, it might be the ham.
Maybe you just need bacon and pineapple is the kind of pizza you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I might have to try that. So at the end of the week, if you have approximately equal side for your for and against, you could consider yourself an open person.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So everybody who's watching, that's the exercise for this week, the challenge.
Yeah.
And be sure to share with us on Instagram. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Share your stories with us on Instagram to tell us how your challenges went, and we'll be able to share that with everyone else.
I'm curious on what people are going to pick, right? If you think you know what you're going to try to be more open about, let us know in the chat. I'm super curious. Destiny says, I'm open to all pizzas. Yeah, I feel like that's you too.
I will eat any kind of pizza you give me, except those ones with anchovies. What's that about? Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. And now you're going to go, I love anchovies.
Not quite. Bev says, maybe you would like it grilled before it goes on the pizza. Maybe.
Maybe.
I love like grilled pineapple on a barbecue. So
True. And a shish kebab.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So besides the challenge, what profession do you guys think requires you to be open-minded? And now you tell me, what profession do you think requires somebody to be open-minded?
Anything that requires creativity requires open-mindedness.
Yes.
And truthfully, I think being open is required of pretty much any career. Like any career that requires, I mean, like there's different kinds of, I mean, there's jobs and then there's like careers. Like, you know, you get into a profession where there's a professional career.
Yeah.
You need to be open to, however, you need to be open to learning new things and being able to excel and being able to expand your thinking on things, because wherever you're starting from is just the beginning. Nobody's an expert.
Right.
And the more open you are, the more likely you are to be more creative and be able to learn more.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think it applies to any professional career position where there's decision making involved and you need to be able to improve on your skills. So that's me. I think it can apply to anything, honestly.
Destiny says hairstylists, counseling, customer service in general, or just any.
True. Yeah, she's talking about where there's interactions with the other people.
Yes.
Right. So
Right.
that's where you really, I think when you think about openness in terms of dealing with the way people are, then yeah, anything to do with customer service or your face-to-face, that requires being able to be open to whatever those people are going to be saying to you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It could be good, it could be bad, it could be something
Bite your
that you
tongue.
completely disagree with.
Yeah.
But you have to take that all in.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
If you're knowledgeable in a topic, can you be open-minded? The Dunning-Kruger effect, people overestimate their own knowledge of a topic. So if you're super knowledgeable in one topic, are you able to be open-minded?
So the Dunning-Kruger effect essentially makes it so that, yeah, people feel like they know everything about something.
Yeah.
So then they're not open to listening to anything else. And this happens in a lot of spaces,
Yeah.
a lot of, like, you name it, it happens all the time. And what happens is that people become they think they know it all.
Yeah.
So they just, when some new information comes, they discard it before they actually hear it. And that's something you can be open-minded to, but you have to be very, very conscious of that. You have to be very conscious of, like, if you are an expert, you have to always be asking, okay, why, like, what is this? Why is this? And be prepared to be humble, right? When it comes to these types of things.
Yeah, I agree with that because, yeah, I was just trying to think of a job that you'd need a lot. I mean, any job you'd need a lot of knowledge, but you definitely have to be aware and be like, okay, I'm going to take in what they're saying and what can I take from it? Can I ask questions on why they think that? Or
yeah. There's never an end to what you can learn. And it's like, I mean, you look at all throughout history, like some of the greatest minds in history will be the first to admit that, you know, there's a quote actually, it says like, the more I know, the more I learn, the less I know.
Right.
I think it's something like that. It might have been Einstein that said something like that. Correct me on that. So yeah, but there is another quote. Richard Dawson once said, "Let's be open-minded, but not so open-minded that your brain falls out."
My brain falls out every day.
So let's be open-minded, but not so open-minded that your brain falls out. Richard Dawkins, British ethnologist, author, ethologist.
Ethologist.
Really? Okay.
Interesting.
Let's be open-minded, not so much that your brain falls out. So, so how do you feel about that? Do you think that people are so open-minded that their brains fall out? Can that happen?
To me on the daily.
Okay.
Yeah. Destiny actually said, my husband and I have this disagreement all the time. He thinks he's an expert on finances, and I think I'm an expert on social justice issues. It's actually comical, some of our conversations.
There you go.
Yeah, but at least you guys are willing to talk through that and listen and have disagreements and be okay with the disagreement too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand the Dunning-Kruger effect because it's, especially where like I'm in the cryptocurrency space,
Yeah.
I find myself struggling with talking to some people who will talk to me about some things. And I know that they're new. It's just that I've had like, you get to a point where you've had so much experience and you've got so much knowledge that you form certain positions, but it's based on all that, right?
Right.
So it makes it more difficult to have new insights when you have that. And I can totally appreciate what she's saying in regards to, you know, one's good in finance, the other in social justice, and feeling like they know it all. And
but it's also like, as I'm sitting here, like, even me being an open-minded person, I feel like you can still have respect for that person because yes, you do know that they are more knowledgeable in that space. So why not have respect? And yeah, like that's why it can be a disagreement and not a fight over it.
The challenge is when you are knowledgeable in something, to be respectful to people who may not have as much knowledge as you and may not have as much experience, and being able to discourse in a way that's going to be open. And from that, you may learn something, even if you're the veteran, and they may learn, and they'll definitely learn something based on your knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of being open about it.
True. Brandon says, someone in a profession that has been doing something the old way and doesn't want to learn the new way.
Ooh. That's a toughie.
Yeah.
That's someone who's closed.
I find like that's people that are older.
Well, that's the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah.
Right. That's an example of what happens, is that they've done it a certain way for a long time. They think it works. They think that there's just no other way to do it. So don't bother me. I know what I'm doing. You know, I'm shut.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what happens for people who have been in doing something for a long time. They don't actually expand beyond where they're at, which is sad because they can go from being good to great by doing that, right? By simply letting go of whatever perceptions they have of how awesome they are.
And it could make them that much more awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Destiny says, it's interesting. So another thing I noticed in my culture, specifically elders are the way. It's so rare to find someone open-minded. Exactly what we were just saying. Like it seems to be elders that are more closed-minded. So do you think being too open-minded could be a bad thing? Do you?
Being too open-minded?
Yeah, it could be a bad thing.
I think where the idea of having too much open-mindedness comes from is that you there's another quote that I remember, and I don't know where it comes from, but it says, you need to stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
Oh.
You ever heard that before?
No, but I like it.
Yeah, so I actually remember that from
Or you just can't make decisions.
That's just it, is that if you become too open-minded, the idea is that you never actually become decisive and make a decision on things, and then you just kind of become thrown everywhere based on all of this. You know, you don't stand for anything, so you're falling for anything.
And then people will judge you for not being on one side or the other in the end too.
Exactly.
That's what I find, because I told you, like, I feel like I'm very open, and that's what I find, like, I sometimes can't make a decision because, I mean, it doesn't ever come down to it really that you need to make a decision based on certain, I don't know, but like I do find myself confused because I don't know what to believe or what's the right thing or what's the wrong thing, or so just live your life. Well, one step in front of the other.
I guess in that what you're talking about, I feel like it's good to be able to think of it like a spectrum. Right. So think about openness of, there's one side of the situation, and there's the other side of the situation. And you've got all kinds of information that's pulling you in those directions, right?
Yeah.
And your belief level and your amount of information you have has you in the spectrum.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes it has you leaning towards one way, but not all the way.
Right.
And sometimes the other way, but not all the way.
Yeah.
So that's where you get into that I can't make a decision kind of situation. But truthfully, as long as you don't have to make a decision,
go with your gut.
You need to respect that there's going to be differences.
Yeah.
And it's a spectrum, And you can work within that spectrum. The problem is that most people, they just want to be black or white. They just want you to be here or there.
Right.
They just don't want you to have, they don't want any in between. They don't want to see the spectrum of like all the differences that could, like
Because
all
it's
the,
easy too, though.
Because it's easier,
It's the easy path.
Because it's easier to make judgments that way.
Yeah.
And people love to judge, but they shouldn't be doing that.
No, be open-minded. Bev says math. The old way makes sense. I don't get the new math. That's actually something I agree with. I get the old math, but the new math, I'm like, this is not right. They shouldn't be doing it like this. So I actually am closed-minded about the math.
I have not seen this new math everyone talks about. Luckily, my son, for some reason, is a complete math genius.
Yeah.
And I haven't even looked at it.
Yeah.
Because he just solves it himself. And I've only heard stories so far. So
You would probably confuse him by trying to help him, honestly.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So tomorrow, it's going to be Brandon and I looking into what it means to be open-minded. Don't forget to like this video,
Like,
subscribe, follow. That way you get all the notifications on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to follow our Instagram. We could be featuring you, featuring your stories, doing polls. We want to hear back from you. That way we can feature what you want.
Yes. So we will see you tomorrow, 11:30 Eastern. You won't see me, but you'll see
Kelly and Brandon.
Till then, open your mind.
Thanks so much for sharing with us today, guys, about all your openness vibes. I loved it. Bye.